cashless bail, one of the stupidest calls by Governor Pritzker.
He's cooking that!
Putting the department in a position where it's going to be harder for us to keep our residents safe.
You're already in that position. Back to life, back to reality.
That boy is good.
Oh, what's going on, guys? I couldn't believe it when I came across this one right here. Top cop in my beloved city of Chicago, Larry Snelling. Let's get his thoughts on what he feels about the National Guard coming to Chicago. Many of you have already heard that Trump U-turned and sent them elsewhere. Originally, he was going to send them here to Chicago, but he sent them over to Portland. And let's check this one out.
So a lot of people asking, what if President Trump sends the National Guard to Chicago? Now Chicago's top cop is weighing in on what he would do in response.
NBC5's Charlie Vajahusky asked him right after a budget hearing this afternoon. Charlie joins us now. So what did Superintendent Snelling have to say, Charlie?
Well, you know Superintendent Snelling, he's not the kind of cop who likes to insert himself in political situations. Today he approached the scenario the mayor and the governor have lambasted with care.
Fam, I know you make more money than that, man. Buy a better suit, man. You look like $2, man. Stop dressing like that, man. Where'd you buy that outfit from? Hobby Lobby? Stop it, man.
And diplomacy.
If the National Guard were to come here, if they were to come here, I'd find a way to work with them that would be in the best interest of everyone here.
Super.
Oh, why he go and say that? Oh, they don't like it when you talk like that. He said he would work with the National Guard. That's what he said. This is why the whole sanctuary city thing has to go in Chicago and Illinois for that matter. They are constantly, when I say they, I mean the politicians. I mean the aldermen. I mean the mayor. I mean the governor. They have all showed you they don't want to fix this problem. The reason they don't want to fix this problem because there's profit in the problem. If Chicago becomes Martha's Vineyard, you stop throwing money at the problem until Martha's Vineyard because they have money to support and correct their own problems. But when you say, look at the crime in my neighborhoods, give me money. When you say, look how war-torn our neighborhoods is, give me money. You can play on the purse and the heartstrings and emotions of people when they feel there's a problem present that needs to be addressed. I'm telling you, this is how it's been in Chicago for the longest. I'm hearing rumors that there's a Republican governor or a Republican candidate looking to seek governorship against Governor Pritzker. I don't know how true this is.
I'm sorry.
I'm going to do a video on it soon as I get done with this one. When the top cop, the superintendent, the number one, the top shotta of the CPD says, yeah, I would work with the National Guard. Even he's indirectly telling you there's an issue here.
Superintendent Larry Snelling says he doesn't want to see the National Guard deployed to Chicago, as the president has repeatedly threatened to.
Even though he says he doesn't want to see them here, he has to say that for political posturing. Because don't forget, as the top cop, a lot of what you do has political motivations, 100%. Don't ever think the Overton window leaves simply because you become the top cop. Yes, you still have to play the game too. So you publicly have to say, oh, I don't really want to see them here. But if they can.
Chicago is a death trap, and I'm going to make it just like I did with D.C., just like I'll do with Memphis.
When it comes to that type of talk, I don't pay that attention as in law enforcement. I would just tell people, come look at the city of Chicago.
Snelling was.
Oh, they've been looking. Oh, people have been looking, and there's a lot of people that would strongly disagree with what the top cop Larry Snelling is saying about what's happening in Chicago, South Side and West Side. Don't get me wrong, Chicago is a beautiful city. But when we're having conversations of crimes happening in broad daylight in downtown Chicago, when they are doing smash and grabs at the Rolex jewelry store downtown Chicago, when we have people that are being deleted from this earth in the Gold Coast. For those of you that don't know about Chicago, the Gold Coast is one of the premier areas of downtown Chicago, where the 1% of the 1% shop, where the 1% of the 1% live. That's where the Bentley dealership and the Aston Martin dealership is located in the Gold Coast of downtown Chicago. There's not a lot of those throughout the city of Chicago. They're in highly sought after real estate in Chicago. People are saying, well, I don't want to see the visual of military troops walking around our neighborhoods. Do you think the people that live in Chicago, that live in the Auburn Gresham neighborhood, that lives in the Woodlawn areas, that live in the Inglewood areas, that live in what's called the Holy City on the west side of Chicago, that live in what was known as the Village?
He's cooking that!
But do you think they want to walk around and see the criminals in their neighborhoods freely walking around like troops themselves without the military uniforms, holding up AKs and hearing gunshots all night long? You think they're not tired of that? You have in Chicago some of the most strictest 2A laws on the books. You're saying crime is down, but is it because what was classified as a felony has been now classified as a misdemeanor? And what has been classified as a misdemeanor is now been classified as a petty.
You ain't lying.
The whole restructuring of the criminal charge system is what is taking place. On top of that, cashless bail, one of the stupidest calls by Governor Pritzker. By you putting that in place, this is what has caused a lot of the issues we have today. I did a previous video where I showed in the articles that there's 342 bodies currently pending in the Cook County morgue that has not been classified by way of death. So we don't know if they died by natural causes or homicide. That's another way you can change the numbers to make it appear that crime is dropping, by not reporting the numbers themselves. That's just my opinion.
At City Hall to testify at council budget hearings. His department, which is already down almost 1,000 officers, is being asked to find more than...
Did you hear that? Down 1,000 officers. Down 1,000 officers.
$90 million in cuts to help plug a $1 billion plus budget hole.
How did that budget hole get there? How did that $1 billion plus budget hole get there? We're down 1,000 cops, and you're going to tell the top cop he needs to cut $90 million worth of spending from the budget. And we're down 1,000 cops. And you want to tell me they don't want to defund the police?
One solution: follow NASCAR's example and require major events to provide their own security rather than rely on police overtime.
NASCAR. From previous years, our overtime is way down when it comes to NASCAR because we didn't have to worry about anything on the inside. They had their own security teams within.
Any cuts, Snelling says, will be difficult.
We just have to be very careful just to make sure that we're not putting the department in a position where it's going to be harder for us to keep our residents safe.
You're already in that position. Back to life, back to reality.
That boy is good.
You're in that position now. Let's stop feigning stupidity here.
Now, the budget process is heating up. The mayor is expected to introduce his budget next month. A budget task force has produced an interim report on how to deal with that $1.1 billion deficit. In addition to finding efficiencies, it's recommending higher fees for city services, new technology, even autonomous drones for the police department, and tying property tax increases to the rate of inflation. The mayor says he has yet to fully read that task force report.
All right.
To the citizens of Chicago, this is proof positive they are not trying to fix the problem. They want to get rid of the funding and spending costs of the CPD. I am very, very intrigued what a lot of CPD officers feel about this. This is a reflection of leadership. This is a reflection of gerrymandering. This is a reflection when only one political voice is heard in the stratosphere of Chicago. You took away ShotSpotter, but you want to put drones in place. Where are you going to get that money from? Where? How are you going to get that money? You got $1 billion deficit, yet you want to tax people more, because that's the answer to everything. Tax them more. Don't have enough? Tax them. Have too little? tax them. Thinking about it, tax them. Not thinking about it, tax them. Tax them for their thoughts. Tax them when they're not thinking. Tax them for their sleep. Tax them to live. Tax them to give birth. Tax them when they die.
It's okay. It's part of the game. It's the worst part of the game. It's what? Taxes.
This is the play. All the citizens in Chicago know how we got into $1 billion deficit. You just don't want to say it out loud because it is about he who shall not be named or they who shall not be named. Because the minute you speak on it, the algorithm doesn't like it. And yet we want to keep blaming it on the Matrix. This is not a blue or a red pill moment. This is an unforced error that didn't need to be created. Now the problem is you see why so many people are disaffected with the Democratic Party. This is Democrat thinking 101.
This is it for you, cousin.
I'm not blaming all of this on the Democratic Party, but when you have one party in Chicago that is the dominant force, it is hard not to blame certain things and lay the blame at their feet. These people who have become disaffected, at one point, I was one of those disaffected persons. I kept looking at things when I was a Democrat and I was like, this isn't right. This doesn't make sense. Things are changing. This is not the same Democratic Party I understood it to be when I clarified myself as a Democrat under Clinton. The crazy part is when Clinton spoke, all the morals and values that he spoke about were conservative values. He spoke about ending welfare. Yes, he did.
Like the kid, he'd go.
When I ran for president 4 years ago, I pledged to end welfare as we know it. I have worked very hard for 4 years to do just that. Today, the Congress will vote on legislation that gives us a chance to live up to that promise, to transform a broken system that traps too many people in a cycle of dependence to one that emphasizes work and independence, to give people on welfare a chance to draw a paycheck, not a welfare check. It gives us a better chance to give those on welfare what we want for all families in America, the opportunity to succeed at home and at work. For those reasons, I will sign it into law. But on balance, this bill is a real step forward for our country, our values, and for people who are on welfare. For 15 years, I have worked on this problem as governor and as a president. I've spent time in welfare offices. I have talked to mothers on welfare who desperately want the chance to work and support their families independently. A long time ago, I concluded that the current welfare system undermines the basic values of work, responsibility, and family, trapping generation after generation in dependency and hurting the very people it was designed to help. Today, we have an historic opportunity to make welfare what it was meant to be, a second chance, not a way of life. I believe we have a duty to seize the opportunity it gives us to end welfare as we know it.
He wanted people to have dignity and respect and be able to stick out and jute their chest out and say, I am not on welfare. I don't know what that is. I don't know what that's like. It keeps coming back to the Democrat policies. This is why I said we need to get rid of the alderman system in Chicago. I don't think people really understand how the alderman is pretty much a series of mini mayors in respective districts. They just don't have the same power of the mayor. Because there are certain things where if the mayor wants to propose a budget because they have to refrain from having a dictatorship in place, the mayor has to ask the alderman if it's okay to do it. And if they say no, then it's tough luck. That's the way it works. I believe Larry Snelling 100% really wants to work with the National Guard. I believe he recognizes there's an issue. He just cannot come out and say it for fear of losing his job. The National Guard needs to come to Chicago. Guys, I'll catch you in the next video. Like, share, comment, subscribe. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. It's about to get hot.